WTL.
And welcome back to WTL. Where's the line, everybody? I'm your host, Andy Klassen, joined by
Jabron.
the Parlay Pounder.
You got it. We're back.
Yeah, and you were in the bank, Pinnacle Bank Arena.
Yeah, in the vault.
You hit a few bets going against the old home team there.
Yeah, I never feel good about betting against the Big Red, but when a team like Illinois comes in and you just had to do it. And I went 4 for 4 last night.
Nice.
It's just not good that it all went against the Big Red.
Hey man, you bet with your money.
There you go.
Not your heart.
I was there in all red. I was cheering for the Huskers. I was cheering for me to lose, but it just didn't happen.
Well, that's college basketball. Let's start with some futures because we're getting down to it right now.
We are.
In the National Football League.
Wild card weekend.
Yep. So we got wild card matchups to talk about. We also got futures because those are starting to heat up right now.
Yeah.
Some decent odds, some lines out there.
For sure.
Do we want to start with who's going to win the AFC?
Let's do the AFC first just because I think that's a little bit more wide open, Andy. There's a couple teams here that we think are going to compete for this, obviously.
Yeah.
First one being the Kansas City Chiefs at a plus 150 right now to win the AFC.
They look good.
Everybody's in on Mahomes. They got the championship pedigree. They should be, picked first like they are just because they've been there. They've been to the Super Bowl. They've won the Super Bowl.
They've been playing good football.
They probably got the two best offensive players in the game right now with Travis Kelce and Pat Mahomes.
Yep.
So I do like that bet, but right behind them is the Buffalo Bills at a plus 185.
They were the favorites earlier in the year.
They were.
Kind of went back and forth.
Kind of, shaping up to be the two-headed monster here, the Chiefs and the Bills or whatever, but where you're starting to see some real good, value, Andy, is the Cincinnati Bengals, I believe, sitting at a plus 375 to win the AFC. They've won the AFC before.
Yep.
They kind of have the Chiefs' number, so to speak. Burrow, I don't know if he's ever lost to him before. And straight up, he's beat him twice. So I really like that play as well. I think that's a good value right there at a plus 375, which would mean if you bet $100, you're returning the 375 into your pocket if they win the AFC. Those are the three front runners. Those are the ones that most people think are going to win the AFC. The next one down would be the Los Angeles Chargers at a plus 1,000. A plus 1,000, and then it just really falls off from there. The Ravens and the Jaguars at plus 2,000, and the Miami Dolphins sitting way at the bottom at plus 3,700.
They're not letting Tua go. Like that news is broke.
Yep.
And everyone
the
kind of
Ravens
felt that way.
they're not going to let Lamar go either.
Right.
So
Well, you really helped your status there, didn't you, Lamar?
Yeah, you're not raising that that money line there. So no, I think if you were going to make a safe bet or a one that you could feel good about, it has to be one of those three teams. And I would probably throw on just a little bit on that Bengals bet just because of the value in that they've beat these teams before. How emotional is that game going to be if it comes down to the Bengals and Bills playing again? That's going to be crazy.
And there's I don't want to call it a cloud over it, but somebody might get screwed out of home field advantage here.
Yeah.
Something that they worked all season for, then a little bit of a tragedy happened.
For sure.
Prayers, thoughts, all that good stuff out there to
He's
Buffalo.
He's back.
He's doing good. But they're still talking this neutral site stuff.
Yeah, no, if the Chiefs and the Bills meet up in the AFC Championship, that will be a neutral site game, which is just so crazy that the AFC Championship, and then you win that game to go to the Super Bowl. Both of those games will be neutral site. Like you said, working all year. The Chiefs have been, the Bills have been, and the Bengals to win that, and it's not going to shape up that way.
And it was kind of funny. So they started scouting for those stadiums in Detroit. So like, nope, we're not available. What? Yeah, you are. What do you got?
Of course you are.
Is Lizzo in town or something?
Yeah, it must be.
Get her off to the
Beach
side.
Boys are coming into town. No, but if I had to guess, they'll go warm weather with that one.
Yeah.
They'll go to Jacksonville or Tampa Bay, get in the warm weather, so it'll be a shootout. Better for the NFL, kind of like that. So those are where we're sitting at with the AFC. You want to move on to the NFC?
Well, real quick, I just kind of want to put my spin on it.
Yeah, for sure.
I think Kansas City obviously deserves to be at the spot they are. At the beginning of the year, everyone was talking Denver. Everyone was talking Raiders.
Yeah.
And Kansas City was just kind of an afterthought. Everyone knew they
Everybody's
were good.
on the Chargers
And Chargers too.
taking over.
Yep.
And then,
Yep.
just because they lost Tyreek, I think I was on this too. I believe that I thought their offense was going to suffer because they don't have that long ball threat. They brought in some really, really good
complementary pieces.
And surprise, surprise, nobody can still guard Travis Kelce.
So I think it'd be worthwhile to hedge a little bit here.
Yeah.
Sprinkle some on Kansas City.
Yeah.
And then maybe get a little greedy and match that bet with Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Because I like that plus 375 as well. Chiefs there at plus 150. And oh, by the way, I just think the Bills are actually on an emotional high.
Yeah.
And I would not be surprised one bit if they make the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So plus 185 for Buffalo. You're not going to be too far off with any one of these three.
The top three are all really good bets.
Yeah.
Don't throw too much on it. Obviously, bet responsibly on these. These are just fun things to, if you are a Chiefs fan, just throw it on them to win and, hope for the best. So moving on to the NFC, Andy, it's the team that's won 10 in a row, 11 in a row, hasn't lost a game in 2 months, the San Francisco 49ers, with all these weapons in this rookie quarterback. This is so nuts, sitting there at a plus 140.
The 49ers are a curious little case study here because every time their starting quarterback got hurt, they got better. The quarterback got better. The position got better.
For sure.
So Love gets hurt. You got to bring back your starter. Lance got hurt.
Garoppolo comes in.
Then he gets hurt. Then Purdy comes in and he lights it up.
Yep.
It's eerily the same to last time they did make it to the Super Bowl back with old Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah.
Where Alex Smith got hurt late. And
Kaepernick just ran over everybody.
Nobody had a scouting report on him yet. And I think the same's kind of happening with Purdy right now.
Yeah.
So, and then they got your boy, Christian McCaffrey.
Yep.
Just throw that on top of an offense like that.
Debo, Ayuk, Kittle. They got all the weapons. In the defense, I believe, is the best in the NFL right now. So that is a really good bet sitting there at a plus 140. Not the best odds, but the team that everybody's been talking about all year, Andy, the Philadelphia Eagles, are sitting right behind them at a plus 150. It seems like they've lost a little bit of that zest, some of that magic just because the 49ers went on that run.
Right, and Jalen Hurts is kind of dinged up, are they solved? Like, there's always been questions with Philadelphia. But they just keep winning.
And they're a really tough team. Yeah. I think this might be a better team than the team they won the Super Bowl with.
Right.
I have no idea what to think with the Eagles right now. The next best, next best odds on this, like I said, the AFC is a little bit more wide open, but it's all the way at plus 475 for the Dallas Cowboys, who just got their bell rung by the Washington Commanders.
Yeah.
So I do not like the Dallas Cowboys just in general, but I don't like this bet at all either.
Putting that out there, I don't like them anyway.
Where you really start to see value here, Andy, and I hate to say this, but it is the GOAT. Tom Brady sitting there, Tampa Bay Buccaneers at plus 1,000 to win the NFC.
Yeah.
We know he can do it.
Yeah.
We know that they haven't played well the whole time, but what a better way for Brady to just come back and say,
they're in.
I'm still the best.
Yeah.
To just limp into the playoffs, beat the Dallas Cowboys, which he's 7-0 against, and then take on the 49ers and take them out of contention as well.
And it's the table is set. The Cowboys are struggling.
Yep.
And you called this like 3 weeks ago, got out your crystal ball. You said Bucs are making the playoffs and they're going to win a playoff game.
For sure.
And now they got a great matchup at home against a struggling Dallas team.
I think that's in the bank.
God.
But yeah, we'll talk about that game later. But
How about the Vikings plus 1,200?
The Vikings have been in a tailspin, I believe, since they won that comeback game against the Lions or whoever it was, a 33-point comeback.
Yeah.
I just believe they haven't got right since then. Like everybody talking about their point differential sitting right there around 0, plus 1 or 2.
Yeah.
It's really hard to think that they can run the table. I think I do like them to beat the Giants this week, but we can talk about that later. But I do not put much faith on them winning the NFC, especially going against defenses like the Eagles or the 49ers.
Right, we don't need to spend too much time. Got a couple of minutes here. Do we want to talk Super Bowl? We want to talk Super Bowl matchups? Where do we want to go?
Let's throw a couple Super Bowl ones out there. Obviously, the Kansas City Chiefs are the best, sitting at plus 300. That's a very good bet. Bills right behind them at plus 350. 450.
Really like that.
San Francisco 49ers at plus 425.
That might be the best so far.
I think so.
Yeah.
And then the Eagles right behind them at plus 450. Like we just said, though, if you want to get wild with it, you want to get crazy with it, Tom Brady is sitting at plus 2,500, which would mean you just have to risk 100 on the Bucs to win the Super Bowl, and you would bring back $2,500 to your pocket. So I really like the Chiefs bet. I really think that they are the front runners to win the Super Bowl. If I had to pick right now, I would pick the Chiefs. Yeah. So that's where I land on that, Andy.
Yeah, I would go with the Chiefs too, the plus 300, and surprise, I mean, they got the best odds, of course.
For sure.
But I really like the 49ers there at plus 425, and I wouldn't sneeze at the Eagles at plus 450. I just think the NFC is a much easier, more clear path.
Yes.
And it's a two-horse race. It's the 49ers, it's the Eagles.
Yeah.
The AFC, you got to talk about Kansas City, you got to talk about Buffalo, you got to talk about Cincinnati.
You do.
Let's talk about Cincinnati, though.
Yeah, Cincinnati's right there at plus 685.
That's the best odds on the AFC.
And they've been to the Super Bowl before.
Yep.
They know how to do it.
Yep.
Joe Shiesty is definitely one of the best players, with all those playmakers, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, all those guys, Joe Mixon.
It feels like they're playing their best ball at the end of the season
They
again.
They are.
Everybody kind of wrote them off at midseason. Remember that? They lost a couple games in a row there, and they didn't look good, and this and that. That's not the song we're singing now.
If you're a Bengals fan, you feel pretty confident going into the playoffs for sure.
I think so, too. Do you got any parlays here, or what are you thinking?
We will be throwing out parlays in every segment coming up. So that's a little teaser coming up.
Well, real quick, I do want to run down the Super Bowl matchups because you can also bet that.
For
you
sure.
heard the horn there, so we're up against it, but we got the 49ers versus Kansas City. That's a front runner, plus 550.
Correct.
Eagles, Kansas City, which we said was second best, plus 650. 49ers, Bills, 625.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I like that a lot.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And Eagles, Bills, plus 700. That's a pretty darn good bet as well.
Yeah, for sure, Andy. And everybody's kind of leaning 49ers Chiefs right now. That's still plus 550. That is such a good value bet to, like you said, if you put $100 on this and this hits, which it has a very good shot of doing, that's $550 in your bank account.
Boom.
So I really like 49ers Chiefs.
Yep, and there's a couple ways to hedge there. And when I say hedge, that means kind of cover your butt.
For sure.
And sprinkle a little bit here and there and just bet on the four best front runners. You're going to come out ahead there.
Yep.
So, all right, well, let's take a quick minute to recognize one of our fabulous sponsors. That is the Nebraska Brewing Company. We are enjoying one of their little IPAs out of the IPA series. Prestige Worldwide.
Prestige Worldwide.
Nebraska Brewing Company, first class in every glass. Don't go anywhere. WTL will be right back.